Hi, my name's Rowena and this is my channel, A Fuller World. Having just come back from an amazing European summer holiday, we thought it was time to explore a little closer to home. So me and my camera shy husband Kirk are here to explore a little bit more of Australia and one of our favourite places, New Zealand. We hope you enjoy this next series. Well, hello. It's been a couple of days since I have picked up the camera. The last couple of days we've just had sort of van chore days, empty the grey water, done the laundry, that kind of thing. And then today we had a huge driving day. So we are no longer in the northlands. We are down south of Auckland in the Coromandel. We've been here before. We actually started off our honeymoon here a couple of years ago, but today we've come around the other side of the peninsula. So we are staying in a place called Shelly Beach. And I mean, check it out. Like, what a campsite. This is stunning. And the drive here was beautiful as well. We sort of feel like we've captured some of the magic of New Zealand back on this trip. It helps that the sun's out. It was pretty much raining and cloudy the whole time we were up in the northlands. And because a lot of things were shut, we feel like we probably could have cut the day short a little bit. But we're just here for one night. And then, like we did on our honeymoon route, we're heading over to Rotorua for a couple of days. So I'm so glad we're here. And let's enjoy the Coromandel. So when we got here, it was low tide, and they said at low tide we can go for beach walks and just walk along the coast of Shelly Beach. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're just going to explore the beach while the sun's setting and no one else is here and it's beautiful weather. So it's easy to see why this place is called Shelly Beach. There are all these like white sort of like conch shells covering the beach line. And then as you walk further out, all the like rocks you can see are covered in these kind of like mussels and barnacles and things as well. I think most of them have been eaten in low tide, probably from the birds, but like there are just shells littering the floor of this place everywhere. Beer time. Not for me, obviously, but beer time for Kirk. I get some slice though, so that's something. Nice and clean. It is another beautiful day here. I was feeling a little cooped up from having had those long drives the last couple of days. So we've started off today at the Long Beach Kauri Walk. So we're going to get to see some of those beautiful big kauri trees here and just some of the beautiful rainforest and fingers crossed, maybe a nice view of the bay as well. So let's get going. So this walk was supposed to be, from what I read online, about an hour return. So I thought it was going to be a much harder walk, or at least longer. But it took us about 15-20 minutes to complete. So we actually ended up turning around and walking back through it rather than walking straight back down the road to the car park. Because it's a really nice little walk, so why not? So this fella behind me is one of those really big kauri trees. I think they can get much bigger than this, but apparently this fella here is about 1,200 years old, which I think is pretty cool.
Said that you felt lost
Alright, so next up for the Coromandel, we're doing something a little bit different and we are heading over to Driving Creek. They have a few different activities there, so they've got zip lining, they've got a scenic train, but this morning we're going a little bit corny and we're going to do some pottery. So neither of us have any pottery skills whatsoever, so it should be interesting. So pottery was interesting. We both sucked at it. We got like 5 clay balls each. We managed to have 1 monkey pot survive each, which we are going to send home just because why not. But it was actually still really enjoyable. There was one point where I thought I'd made a nice like big plate, but when we went to sort of cut it off the thing at the end, it was a little bit thin and it cut up, so I ruined it right at the very end, which was a bit disappointing, but it was actually a really fun experience even though we were both shit at it. So we're going to move on from Coromandel now and we're going to pack up, have some lunch and then start heading down to Rotorua. I mean, this is one of the pluses of van life, right? Like this is where we pulled up for lunch and just check out these views. All right, so we have made it to Rotorua. It's already dark. It's pretty much bedtime already because we ended up taking the kind of long way around and we stopped through Taronga. So I actually got to have dinner with an old friend, which was amazing. So I'm really happy we got to do that today. But it does mean we've got here quite late. So we're not going to see much of Rotorua tonight. But I thought instead I would just kind of sum up the northlands trip we did over the last few days because we didn't really kind of wrap that up. So the northlands did to us feel a little bit different to the vibe of the rest of New Zealand that we've experienced. And I think it was kind of a combination probably of the time of year. So, you know, things were closed, the weather, so things were a bit grey and you didn't get the full scope of the bays and the sea. But I definitely think if you're doing the northlands, especially depending on the time of year, a little bit more planning than what we perhaps did wouldn't go astray. So personally, my recommendation, we would have probably cut out the west coast. I don't think there was enough there to sort of fill in our days and mix up the driving. And we probably would have condensed down our trip up to Cape Reinga a little bit. That was an amazing coastline, an amazing place, but I think we could have condensed it down, taken the west coast out, which would have given us a few extra days to spend in these beautiful places that we love, like the Coromandel, Rotorua, or perhaps we would have even added in somewhere like Hamilton or Taronga and Mount Maunganui and spent a little bit more time in some new locations as well. So we probably would have done things slightly differently if we were going to come back and do that trip again. But all in all, like I said, we still love New Zealand, we still love van life. We've had an amazing time. And sadly, we've just got one more day here on this trip, or one more full day here in the van. So we're gonna tuck in and then we'll get up bright and early and enjoy our day in Rotorua tomorrow. So I'll see you in the morning.